Hello and welcome to this special podcast feature, which will start season 2 of Keep It Science. Today we will talk about Europe's leading drug discovery and life science conference, which is none other than Drug Discovery 2025, organized by ELRIG. And this year's Drug Discovery 2025 will be happening with over 3,000 attendees from 21st to the 22nd of October 2025 in Liverpool in the UK. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Kugler, the Director of Zeke's Science Communicator and host of this special episode. And with me today is our outstanding guest, Laura Eghobamien. She's a cellular biologist and freelance scientific consultant. She's founder of the Black Medical and Scientific Network, BMSN, and she was named Influential Woman of the Year 2024. And she's also the board member or a board member of Technology Networks and CATS Cambridge. So she has loads of different roles, and today she will talk with us about ELRIG. So hello and welcome, Laura.
Yes, thank you very much. You're warm welcome.
It's fantastic to have you here. And so before we talk about Drug Discovery 2025, I think it would be really nice for you to introduce yourself a little bit to the listeners about what you do and what your work entails.
Sure. Yeah, no, thank you once again. It's a real pleasure to be here today. Yes, as you said, I'm Laura Eghobamien, and yeah, wearing lots of different hats. So I have a background actually, first of all, in drug discovery. Spent over a couple of decades doing high throughput screening, and currently working as an independent scientific consultant, again, wearing lots of different hats there. So really helping startups from, asset validation, right through to health and safety aspects of their startup as well. And yeah, pretty much really guiding them through that first initial stages and helping them with my expertise in where areas I can be. And secondly, I'm also the founder of the Black Medical Scientific Network. So this is a non-for-profit organization and primarily really helping Black and ethnic minoritized scientists to gain visibility across various different platforms.
Which is so important. And it's lovely to have someone who wears so many different hats, because obviously you bring different expertise, different insight, and you know how to speak the language of all the different people involved in different projects, which is really nice and really important to be like this connecting person. And so now that we know a little bit about you, can you talk with us a little bit about what is ELRIG and why does it really bring so much to this really vibrant European life science landscape?
Yeah. So ELRIG, really, it's all around bringing the life science community together. So they're also a non-for-profit, and they've actually been going on for almost about 20 years now, and they really bring both academics as well as those working in industry, bringing them to really one hub and just really to share and learn from each other. So it's a real collaborative effort that they do, putting lots of different conferences. And one of the key ones, as you've said before, is Drug Discovery, which is happening this year.
Absolutely. And as you say, one of the main key things is to bring the science community together. And this year we're having Drug Discovery 2025, which is this festival of life science, as we mentioned before, which is really great in Liverpool, which is just kind of a stone throw away from us. And that makes it really the more exciting. And it's going to be from the 21st to the 22nd of October. And so can you tell us more about the actual event of Drug Discovery 2025?
Yeah. So it's going to be really, really exciting. So we'll be having about 14 different tracks, and there'll be right from ranging from AI, right to sustainability, right to high throughput screening, and also that's kind of the science involved. There's also other things which they'll be doing there as well. So that we've got the live tech theatre, as well as so they've also got also the network for boss as well. So various different things going on where early career professionals to network and meet more advanced professionals, art specialists, and there's also meet and greet. There's also awards as well. So awards for early career professionals. Lots really happening with the science, as well as connecting with other people as well, and connecting with like-minded scientists.
Which is great, especially for early career researchers. It's so important to connect with other people, different fields, get an insight into what careers are out there, how to get into them, and just build these really important fast connections. So it's great to see that, there's such a huge support from ELRIG happening. And also, obviously, the industry is rapidly growing. We know that. And especially in the UK, there's so much happening. But also, especially for ELRIG, it is growing so fast that you actually have to manually review now all the attendees. So attendees don't just sign up, but they actually kind of applying to attend, and then you review them together with a committee and your group of kind of reviewers, whether people, are a good fit for the company or like for the conference, which is really great. And so that really makes this conference a hand-selected event where people are selected for topics, science, research kind of fields, and also kind of seniority. So what is it that you're looking for someone who wants to attend? What are you looking for someone in the selection of attendees for this year's conference?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, because the event is free to attend and there's lots of interest that sparks in this type of conference. So we really want people who are able to, really collaborate and engage with the science. So the tracks are, we've got 14 different tracks there, and people can go on the website and have a look at those various different tracks. So, for example, if you're working in artificial intelligence, at the moment, there's a lot of work around using artificial intelligence in drug development. So this is the field that you're working in. So using that as well as genomics, as well as proteomics. So if you're working in this field and you're a researcher, again, these are really great tools that you can, be able to engage with other scientists there. So we're looking for people with those kind of key expertise, and also as well as in academia, if you're, because it's a small niche of people who do drug discovery. Again, if you're wanting to collaborate with, for example, big pharma, it's also an opportunity to be able to do that. So if you're a small academic and you don't really have, in terms of maybe some of the tools that you need. So yeah, we're looking for people who potentially might be a good fit for collaborations as well. So yeah, we really want to hear about your research and what you're working on, so that potentially we can see, where you are fit and how you fit within that, the tracks that we've got out there as well. So example, the tracks I've been working on is around neurodegeneration. So when the aging of Alzheimer's. So again, if you're working in this space, it's really great to be able to see what you're working on, and who potentially you might be able to collaborate with.
Absolutely. And I also know that you're involved in actioning the EDI plan, so Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, for Drug Discovery 2025. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So one of the big things, actually one of the specific things I was brought in for, so I've been working with ELRIG for about 3 years now. And what they did about a couple of years ago, they looked at the whole EDI policy, and they also looked at in terms of the people who were coming to their conferences. And what they did discover is that they've got about 50% are, there's a gender balance between male and female. So if they wanted to have 50%, it would have the right gender balance. Also, 35% of those attending are non-white. So they want to be able to ensure that those attending the conferences reflect the people who are actually, so both the speakers, the attendees are well matched. Because normally what happens to a lot of conferences is that you don't get that match, but which is what ELRIG have really tried to, intentionally, it's a real intentional that they try to do, really ensure that the speakers really match those who are coming to the conference. So what we've got in drug discovery is that what you'll see that there's a really great diversity within both when the speakers as well as those attending. So what the Black Medical Scientific Network did there is ensure that the speakers who are coming to drug discovery are very diverse. So what you'll see within the tracks is that you'll see very diverse in every track. Actually, in every track we've got this there, you'll see a diverse range of speakers, which is really great. Because again, it just encouraged those who are coming to the conference. They've got people who, who look like them, are in a very similar field and have those expertise as well.
Absolutely. It can make such a huge difference to actually have visibility of a role model where you think you don't fit, but actually suddenly there's someone on the stage and they look like you, talk like you, have the same kind of, background. I think it makes a huge difference and is so important. I also was recently at a conference where I heard a really interesting statistic. I can't remember quite the numbers, but it was basically that there was a very equal balance between female speakers who were applying to present a poster, but actually people giving talks, it was much more kind of male balanced and male focused, kind of making it like almost seem like women are much more or less active in, stepping on the stage. So how would you encourage someone from, like, for example, a minority background to really go on stage and kind of think big and, especially the conference, which can be quite intimidating? How can you encourage someone to really apply and say, I'll go for it, I'll do it?
Oh, yeah, no, that's again a really, really good question. And yeah, I've been in situations, for example, myself, where I didn't have that, I guess, the confidence to be able to say, okay, I can't do this because I can't see anyone there. But what I'd really encourage is that you might feel, inferior, but what ELRIG is it's a nice conference. It's a really welcoming, and you're not going to be judged. And it's one of the conferences where, you can ask those questions, like, you don't quite understand what's going on, but you want to learn. And everyone who comes to ELRIG, it's a real learning community. Yes, there are great scientists there, great expertise there, but people are really genuinely will encourage you to share your ideas, because again, it's a place for innovation. And what we really want people to do is collaborate and innovate as well. You're only going to be able to do that if you push yourself out of your comfort zone and give it a go, really. So you don't have to be afraid, but yeah, do encourage you that you've got those bright ideas. Please, engage with those and connect.
That's so good to hear. Also, I think, there's several different EDI actions that someone can think of at a conference, but I'd love to hear a little bit about, for example, at ELRIG or at Drug Discovery 2025. Will you have, for example, silent rooms or subtitles, or how will you really foster and put EDI into action more on kind of the disability side of things?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is again, I think in ELRIG's praises there, but this is something I know they do well because I've seen it, in action. And there are silent rooms, so there are prayer rooms. So they've thought even right through to so with the conference as well, they do offer food as well. So again, the dietary requirements as well. If people have dietary requirements, that's also taken into consideration. If they have accessibility requirements, again, that's so. And Liverpool, the conference centre is great because when they do pick out where their venues are, they look at these type of things. So again, is it accessible for people to get to? So last year, again, one of the key things that they found is that people were having difficulty in actually getting, even though the conference was free, but it was an issue of actually getting to the conference. So for students who may not have the finance to have transport, they put buses out last year, which was great, and all the buses were filled. So it's just little things like that. So any limitations that stops people from getting to a conference, or limitations in terms of, again, if you need some quiet room for prayer time, that there will be those type of facilities there. So they do think outside the box, or try and cater for a day for almost everyone, really, to make it that inclusive community, which is really great.
It can make a huge difference if people know that, inclusivity is at the forefront of a conference and not just like an afterthought. Because I think oftentimes, people organize a conference and they at the last minute say, oh, we just need to add something quickly, right? But actually having a conference that has it at the heart and center, it's really refreshing and really, really nice to hear. And like you say, often it's just really little things like, for example, a bus to attend, or a quiet room, or like you say, food can be such a huge problem. For example, if someone is celiac or has an allergy, people often kind of have that as an afterthought. So it's great to hear all about these things. And so because we talk with you about behind the scenes insights, I think it's also really nice to hear from people on kind of more the science side of things. What can people expect this year? I mean, you touched on a few things, but is there something that's your personal highlight, maybe, that people can expect for ELRIG 2025?
Like I said, I'm a bit biased there. So as a conference director, so all of the conference directors, what we do is that we have the tracks that we work on. So the tracks that I've worked on this year, so one of them was day one, which is in collaboration with the Alzheimer's Society. So that's looking at hit finders using high throughput screening. Again, Alzheimer's, it's a neurodegenerative disease, blood-brain barrier. So how do we cross that blood-brain barrier? How do we potentially find hits within that? How do we use, again, automation to identify those hits? So I'm really excited about this track because, again, Alzheimer's disease, it's something that we're all aware of, and it's nice to hopefully see some of how that the potential new drugs which are going to be used to treat that disease. So, and secondly, the other track I'm involved in is drug repurposing. So again, drug discovery, if you've been in this field, we know it's very expensive. It's also very difficult as well. There are lots of drugs, which we find every year. But again, could we redefine how those drugs are used? Like, can we use that drug for another potential disease area? So I'm quite excited about this because we'll hear about some proteomics work that a lot of academics are doing in this area for looking at potentially new ways to find a new purpose for a drug. So those are two key check areas I'm quite excited about. And then there's the traditional areas around high throughput screening and cellular screening. So asset development. So that's another cool. So we've got a number of tracks which are repeated quite a few times because they're quite popular. So there's also chemistry tracks as well. So we've got some, there's got lots of different really, really exciting science and robotics as well. And there's also a track around sustainability. So there's quite a lot, really.
So I think the most difficult thing for attendees will be know which session to attend, because all of them are going to be interesting. So yeah, that's great to hear. Absolutely. And I guess you had already like a little sneak peek into all the different tracks and sessions. Is there like an under the radar topic that you really looking forward to kind of sit in and hear about?
Under the radar topic. I'm actually quite interested in this. So we've got two really profound keynote speakers. So we've got one who's coming from America, Dr. Heather Pinkett. So she's the protein scientist. She's also elect president-elect of the Protein Society. So yeah, I'm really quite interested in hearing about her work. Yes, and we've also got the medicinal chemist from AstraZeneca, who will be speaking on day 2. Again, these are quite eminent scientists, and I'm always quite intrigued to hear about their careers and basically how they've gone about their career and some of the things that they've done as well. So
it's so great to hear that there were with so many different scientists and topics. And so the Pinkett Lab is obviously interested in like different nutrients and antibiotics and chemotherapeutics and how they're transported in and out of cells. So as a biologist myself, I'm really interested to hear about what's the latest science and the latest research. Yeah, and also I was recently at a conference, and what I thought did really, really nice for new attendees was to have little stickers for the name badges. So it was basically, I'm new to XY. And it was really nice because it, opened up conversations where people were like, oh, you're also new, right? So I think, little things like that can make a huge difference, which is really nice. And I guess, again, at Drug Discovery 2025, there will be loads of new people. And with 3,000 attendees, there will be lots of interaction, which is great. Absolutely. So I'm really excited to see you there in October. And so to our listeners, if you're planning to attend, as Laura said, make sure to sign up now because the spaces are very limited. And so again, it's going to be in Liverpool from the 21st to the 22nd of October. We're really excited to be there. And this is all that we have time for today. So thank you so much, Laura, for taking the time. It's been really great talking to you.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful. Look forward to seeing you in October.
Yeah, same here. And so this is all that we have time for today. And to our listeners, if you want to know more about ELRIG, make sure to visit www.elrig.org and feel free to connect with all of us on LinkedIn. And if nothing else, keep it science. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This podcast was produced by Keep It Science, a collaboration between Acorn Scientific Marketing and Zeke's Art for Geeks, two award-winning science communication and marketing agencies based in the UK. If you enjoyed the episode and you're thinking of launching your own podcast, whether to share expert insights, tell your company's story, or build market presence, we'd love to help you create a podcast with outstanding science and production value.
So drop us a line at keepitscience@gmail.com, or you can find us on LinkedIn. And if nothing else, keep it science.